Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Solo Gamers Club. Tonight we're going to continue with our playthrough of Skeptics. In the previous episode, we managed to uncover our first clue, and that earned us our first summon die. Our chief investigator, Mark Tanner, was able to find a special item, the spectral stone. And we also saw our first appearance of the child ghost, and he appeared in the morgue. And we're going to continue with our playthrough, and our first investigator is going to be Madame Bureau. And her first action for the turn is going to be a search action, and we're going to see if she can investigate that wastebasket and see what she can find there. We're looking for one eye. Here's the roll. And she's got the result, so we can see what that search token will give us. That's revealed to be nothing here, so that token is discarded. And I think for her second action, she's going to attempt to open this door into room 20. And she's going to need a total of 2 keys to open that door. Here's the first roll on the unlock action. And she has 3 keys. That's great. So the door is unlocked. And as a part of that action, she can take a free move into the room. And I think for her third action, she's going to do a search action on this table. And she's looking for a camera. And here's her roll. And unfortunately, she has 2 eyes and a cobweb. So that's going to end her actions, and we'll move on now to Kate Burkham. Alright, Kate is going to use her first action. She's going to try an unlock action and try to get access to room 3. And here's her unlock action. And she's got 2 keys, so we're going to keep those. And we're going to re-roll using another action. That'll be her second action. We'll see if we can get another key to open it. And we did. We've got the 3 keys. That's going to open the door, and she's going to move in there as a part of that action. And I think for her third action, she's going to investigate this clue token here. She needs 2 cobwebs in order to solve that, so we'll see if she can get that. That's a tough one. And no, she failed. And that's going to end her turn. Mark Tanner's up next. He's going to use his first action to move into this room here. Then he's going to do a search action and try to get that search token. We need 2 eyes to solve that. And here's his roll. He's got 3 eyes, so he was successful. And we'll find out what that search token is all about. And this time it's a clue. That's great. So we get to flip over our second clue. That one says, while you are searching, you hear several eerie sounds and ghostly wails. You feel under pressure trying to find evidence of the supernatural. Solve the following to reveal ghostly evidence. All right, we're going to place a clue token on the card, clue number 2, and then also place that other clue token number 2 in that room. And token that we found is discarded. And along with finding that clue, we're going to gain another summon die. So we have 2 of those now, which is great. And I think from Mark Tanner's third and final action, we're going to attempt to solve this clue. So we're going to be doing, this will be our first solve action. Now you'll notice that as a part of this clue card, there's a red symbol with an exclamation point. And what that means is that in order to solve this clue, we have to roll a camera and a cobweb in a single roll. We cannot save dice and attempt to solve it in a normal manner. Means that we have to solve it all in one roll. This is going to be a tall order, but we'll give it a shot. Here's the roll. And we did it. We have cobweb and a camera. So we were able to solve that clue, and what's going to happen with that now is The clue token is removed from the board, and the clue card and the other token are discarded. And as a bonus for solving that clue, we get to select one of these evidence tokens. And what we're trying to do is match that evidence token with one of the symbols on the child ghost card. If we can end up matching all of those, then we're able to utilize that seance mode, which is very powerful. There is a negative side to this, and that is as soon as all of those evidence tokens are revealed, the game moves into what's called ghost mode. And that means the ghost is going to start appearing every 15 minutes. Instead of on the hour, we will still only draw an environment card on the midnight hour, but the ghost is going to appear every 15 minutes, and that accelerates the game quite a bit. So we're going to draw our first evidence token, trying to match one of those. We'll try this one. And we end up with no match. So that'll be placed on the portrait. We'll keep that there, but at least we've eliminated one of the 7 evidence tokens in an attempt to try to get those 4 that we need. So that's a great start. And that's going to end the investigator's round, and we're going to move the clock 15 minutes. And we'll begin a new round, and Madame Brieux is going to attempt to search action, and she needs one camera to solve that. And here's her first action. And she has the camera. All right, so that allows us to unveil that search token, and that is revealed to be an item. So we're going to draw the top card from the item deck. And she finds rubber boots. Once per turn, gain 1 free move action, but you cannot run. Okay, that's great. So we'll add that card to Madame Brieux's collection of cards, and she can begin using that immediately. I think now for her second action, she's going to attempt to investigate this bed, and we need a cobweb there to successfully perform the search. Here's her roll. This is her second action. And she failed on that. So we're going to try our third action, and we're just going to give all those a re-roll in an attempt to come up with a cobweb. Here's the roll. And she failed. Okay, that's going to end her turn, but she did end up picking up an item, a pair of rubber boots. We'll move on now to Kate Burkham, and she's going to attempt a search action. She's going to search that bed, and she needs 3 cameras. That's a little tough. We'll try that one. And here's her first roll. And she came up with 2 cameras. That's a pretty good start. So we'll save those. And we'll make a second action. See if we can come up with that third camera. And she got a cobweb. Okay, we'll try the last action and see if we can do it. We got a 1 in 3 chance. She did it. All right, 3 cameras. We'll find out what that search token is, and that is an item. Great. So we'll draw the top card from the item deck, and Kate Burkham finds a thermal camera. Once per turn, upgrade any 1 clue die icon on a search, solve, or prove action. Eye to camera or camera to cobweb. Well, that's extremely useful. We'll give that to Kate Burkham, and that's going to end her turn. And now we'll move on to Mark Tanner, and he's going to attempt a search action of this table. He needs 2 eyes, so we'll give him a roll on his search dice. Here we go. And he's got it. He's got 3 eyes. Let's see what he found. And he's got a clue. Outstanding. All right, so we're going to place clue number 3 in that room. The token is removed. And let's find out what that clue is. That reads, while you are searching, you hear a click. A faint sound of a timer can be heard in your proximity. Time seems to move faster. Solve the following to reveal ghostly evidence. We'll place clue number 3 on that card, and that's again one of those with the timer, which is can potentially be a little dangerous for us. But that is also going to award us our 3rd summon die, which is very important. Incidentally, there is a second way that we can shift the game into ghost mode. In addition to uncovering all of the evidence listed at the bottom of the child ghost card, if all of the clues are ever revealed, that will also move us into ghost mode. And once again, ghost mode is where the ghost will appear every 15 minutes. The game will move into a hyper mode, as it were. Also, I should point out that the ghost should have been removed from the board following the conclusion of the last turn. He only stays on the map for one full round, and then he's removed. So in the midnight hour, he appears, and he would stay on the map through that turn, and then he is removed. All right, Mark Tanner has 2 actions remaining. I don't think I want to try that solve action on that clue yet, because that's one of those timered events, and I'd rather wait until we had the ability to roll some additional dice. So I think what he's going to do is he's going to do a move action, and I think we're going to try to get him a magnifying glass. So for his second action, he's going to move into the bed ward, and then for his third action, back out into the hall. And the clock is going to advance another 15 minutes. And we'll start a new round with Madame Brieux, and she's going to attempt a search action in this bed. And she needs a cobweb, so we'll try that. And her first round failed. We'll use a second action and try that again. Nope. And we'll use up her third action in the attempt. See if we can get it. And no, she failed. All right, so that's going to end her turn. We'll move on to Kate Burkham. All right, Kate is in the padded room, and I think she's going to attempt to solve that search token. So we're going to need 2 webs, though, unfortunately, which is going to be pretty tough. And here's her first attempt. And she got it. She's got the 2 webs. Let's find out what that search token is all about. And that is an item. Outstanding. And Kate finds an EMF meter. Add 1 clue die to your inventory. That is outstanding. We'll add that card to Kate's collection of cards. She has the thermal camera and the EMF meter. That's great. I think now for her second action, she'll move back into the hall. And for her third action, I think she's going to try to eventually get to this clue. So we'll move into there, and now that we're getting an extra die plus the ability of the thermal camera to change an eye result into a camera or a camera into a web, we've got a much better chance on solving that without failing. So that's going to end Kate's round, and we'll move on now to Mark Tanner. All right, Mark is going to take a move action. He's going to enter the office. And once there, he is going to acquire a magnifying glass. That'll be his second action. And I think for his third action, he's going to attempt to open this door into the storage room. And he needs 2 key results to successfully complete that. And here's his roll. And unfortunately, he only had 1. Okay, that's going to end the player's round. And the clock will advance to 9 o'clock. We're getting close to the ghost hour again. Madame Brieux is up next, and I think she's going to move into this room 19. And she's going to attempt a search action on this search token there. She needs 1 eye to complete that. And here's her second action. And she's got it. Let's see what she found. And she's got nothing here, unfortunately. And I think for her third action, she's going to attempt to open this door into the restroom. So she needs 1 success to do that. Here's the roll. She's got it. All right, so that's going to open the door into that restroom area. And that's going to end her part of the round. And I think she'll move into there as well as a part of that. So we'll have her move in there as well. That's a part of her unlock action. Okay, now we'll move on to Kate Burkham. All right, Kate has picked up the thermal camera and the EMF meter. Now that EMF meter is going to award her a extra clue die to her inventory, and with this thermal camera she's able to change eyes into cameras and cameras into cobwebs. So I think we're going to attempt a solve action of clue number 1. All right, for clue number 1 now we have that timer, so we need to get an eye, camera, and cobweb in a single roll. Now she is going to have the EMF meter, which will give her an extra die. We'll be rolling 4 dice. And she has the thermal camera, which can convert an eye to a camera or a camera to a web. So we have a good chance on solving this. Here's her roll. All right, and she's going to utilize her thermal camera. That's going to allow her to switch an eye into a camera result. So we do have our eye, camera, and web. We've done that in 1 roll. So we're not going to take a timer for that. We've solved clue 1. So clue 1 is now removed from the board, and we're going to gain another evidence token, which is great. So we get to select another evidence token. I think I'll try this one. We'll see what we come up with. And we've got 2 ghostly eyes looking at us. Well, unfortunately, that's not one of those that we needed, so we'll just add that to the portrait area. And now we're down to 5 pieces of evidence, and we need 4 of those to complete that portion on the child ghost card. All right, for Kate's second action, I think she's going to attempt to open up the room 6, the isolation room. She needs 2 keys to solve that. And here's her unlock action. And she's got it. She's got the 2 keys. So we have successfully unlocked that door, and she's able to enter in that room for free. And I suppose for her third action, we'll try it. She's going to try a search action. She needs a web to solve that. And once again, she has that EMF meter, and that's going to allow her to roll 4 dice. All right, here's her roll. And unfortunately, she failed. We're only able to use that thermal camera once per turn. So she's already used that during her turn. All right, that's going to end her round, and we'll move on now to Mark Tanner. All right, Mark is in the office. There is a search token error, but that's a little tougher. It takes 4 results. So I think what he's going to do is he'll move back into the set of rooms across the hall. He'll do a move action, 1, 2, and he'll use his third move action to move into room 4. All right, that is going to end the investigator's round. The clock will advance, and it becomes the midnight hour, and we're going to have a ghost hour. And we begin the ghost hour by drawing an environment card. That is revealed to be malfunction. All search actions require 1 additional eye to complete. Discard this card at the next ghost hour. And the flavor text reads, the equipment is not working properly. All right, that card is going to remain for the full extent of the next round. Now we're going to draw a room card, and we're going to find out where the ghost is going to appear. This time he appears in room 17. And with a bit of luck, he appears in the restroom where Madame Briot is, amazingly. That's very useful for us. We'll place a red cube there. And now he's going to stay on the board for the entire next coming round. And Madame Briot is going to be able to do some prove actions against him. That is great. And now we'll begin another round for the investigators. And we'll begin with Madame Briot. And she is in the restroom area. Ghost has appeared there. So she's going to be able to undertake our first attempts at proving the ghost's existence. She's in the same space as the ghost, which is the primary requisite. Now normally we would be able to select any combination on the ghost's card and attempt to do a prove action of that, but this child ghost has a lingering effect that says that we must first satisfy all of the eye sets in the red box first before we can undertake any of the other icon sets. So she is going to have to attempt to do a prove action using the eye results. So Madame Brew is going to do a prove action. She'll be rolling 3 dice, and we need an eye result, and that will be a successful prove action. Here's the roll. This is her first action. And she's got it. That is great. And that's going to allow us to place one of these blue cubes, showing that we've completed that prove action. Now she has 2 actions left, and I think we're just going to continue on and try and get as many prove actions in with her as possible. And this is her second action. She's going to do another prove action. We're looking for an eye. And she's got it. That's great. We're going to mark off another one of those on the ghost card, and that'll be the 2 of the required 4 eyes that we need. Her third action will be the same. We're going to attempt to prove that ghost's existence as much as possible. Okay, here is the roll. And she's got it. She's got an eye, and we've got 3 prove actions now on the ghost, and that is great. That's going to end her turn. We'll move on now to Kate Burkham. All right, Kate Burkham is up next. Now we do have the option of using a different action than we have seen thus far, and that's called a pull action. And what would happen is Kate would be able to roll all of the summoning dice that we have currently available to us, and if she's able to get at least 1 result, she's able to pull the ghost 2 spaces, or 1 space if it goes through a closed door. So if she was to attempt this, she could try to pull the ghost, and say if it was successful, the ghost could be moved 2 spaces. And then if she wanted to do it again, she could move the ghost another 2 spaces, moving it closer to her, and then maybe being able to eventually move into that space and perform prove actions. But there is a risk. If we end up trying to pull the ghost and we fail, the ghost instantly disappears. He gets spooked. So we won't do that, but if we were closer to that ghost's location, we could try that. I think what she's going to do is she's going to do a search action looking for a cobweb in that isolation room, and then we'll see if she can solve that. Now Kate has the EMF meter. That's going to allow her to roll an extra clue die. She also has the thermal camera, and once per turn she can upgrade any 1 clue die on a search, solve, or prove action. All right, here is her roll. And what she'll do is she's going to use the thermal camera, and she's going to convert that from a camera to a cobweb, and that's going to be a success for her, and we'll flip over that search token and see what she finds. And she's got nothing here, unfortunately. Okay, that was her first action. I think for her second action, she's going to move out into the hall. And I think for her third action, she's going to attempt to open this door into the other isolation room. She needs 2 keys. And here's her unlock attempt. And unfortunately, she failed. She only had one key. All right, that's going to end her turn. We'll move on now to Mark Tanner. Mark Tanner's in room 4, and I think he's going to attempt a search action. He needs to get an eye and a camera, and I think what he'll do is he's going to use one of the uses of his magnifying glass, and that's going to give him an extra clue die for the test. So he'll be rolling 4 dice. And here's his roll. And he has an eye and he has a camera, so we're successful, and he finds an item. That is great. We'll draw the top card from the item deck, and that's revealed to be the investigator bag. May hold a 4th item, excluding this bag, and a second magnifying glass. Once per turn, gain 1 free pickup take, give, or exchange action. That is fantastic. That was Mark's first action. His second action is going to be to move to the bed ward. And I think he'll use his third action and he'll attempt to open the door to the bathroom. Now, incidentally, the magnifying glass cannot be used for unlock actions. It's only for prove, solve, and search actions. All right, this is Tanner's third action, and he's going to attempt to unlock the door. He only needs a single key. And he's got it easily. So the door is opened, and Tanner's going to take advantage of that and move into the bath. That's great. All right, that ends the turn. And the clock will advance now to 3 o'clock. And I think what I'm going to do to speed things along is I'm going to play the game off camera, and we'll return back after I've got a few more turns in and the investigators have gone a little farther into their investigation, and we'll pick up the action from there. All right, our investigators have completed their round, and during that time, Madame Brieux found a music box. Once per turn, re-roll any amount of summon dice. Kate Burkham found a key ring, which gives her an extra key die to her inventory, which is great. That makes it a lot easier for her to open doors. And she also found a special item, the Talisman, a small medallion that shows strange symbols. Play this card on any player's turn to ignore a ghost's ability when it appears during the ghost hour or ghost mode. Must declare use before ability is used. This does not affect lingering effects. Discard after one use. And that would be useful when the ghost appears. It's going to close all of the doors in its location. So we could use that talisman to prevent that. That would be great. And finally, Mark Tanner, he ended up picking up another magnifying glass in addition to that investigator bag that he found. All right, now we're going to move on to the ghost hour. And we'll begin by drawing an environment card. This one is revealed to be claustrophobia. All spaces are under restricted movement. All players sharing a space must immediately move to an adjacent space. Following move rules may pass through closed doors in this instance. Discard this card after everyone has taken a turn. The flavor text reads, "There is a feeling the room is shrinking all around me." All right, now the ghost is going to appear, and we'll draw a room card, and he's coming in room 7. Room 7 is in the isolation ward. We'll place a red marker along there so we know that he will not appear there anymore. All right. All right, now it is the investigator's turn again. And I think we're going to attempt something that we haven't tried yet, and we're going to try to draw the ghost towards us. We're going to pull him. Now, what that's going to involve now is we're going to be able to use all of the summon dice that we have collected. And if we're able to get a success, we can pull the ghost 2 spaces from its location, and then that'll make it easier for our investigators to reach that location. Problem is if we fail the roll, we're going to, the ghost will disappear, so we'll lose that opportunity. Madame Brieux has a music box, and once per turn, she can re-roll any amount of summon dice. So that's a very valuable item. And she's going to start out her turn by pulling the ghost. So we're going to make an attempt at pulling the ghost, and she can use that music box if necessary. Okay, here is the roll. She has no successes. So she's going to utilize that music box. We'll tip that card, telling us that we've used it this turn, and she gets to re-roll those. Okay, here's the roll. And she's failed, so the ghost is going to disappear, and we've lost our opportunity at attempting to interact with it during the turn. All right, that's the cost of that. It's the more summon dice we have, the higher probability of our success. Madame Brioux's next action is going to be a search action. She's going to attempt to unravel this search token that's there. She's going to need a cobweb to do so. Okay, here's her roll. And she's failed that. Well, we're going to use her third action, and she's going to try that one more time. And that time she's successful. We have the web. Let's see what she finds. Nothing here. Okay, that's going to end her turn. Next up is Kate Burkham. Now she has that thermal camera, the EMF meter, key ring, and the talisman. She's currently in the doctor's office in room 14. And I think Kate is going to utilize her EMF meter, and she's going to attempt to a search action. Now, this is one of those with that exclamation point, so she needs to solve this in a single roll. We need 2 eyes. So she'll be using her first action as a search action. And she has the 2 eyes, which is great. Let's find out what she found. And she's got a clue. That's great. And the next clue, clue number 4, is you may have found evidence of the supernatural. You just need to get a closer look at it. Solve the following to reveal ghostly evidence. 2 cameras and a cobweb. We'll place clue number 4 on the clue. Another one in the room. All right. Now that clue is going to award us our 4th summon die, which is great. And I think for Kate's second action, she's going to attempt another search. She'll search the desk this time. She's looking for a single camera. And here's her search roll. And she's got the camera. That's great. She's doing a great job. That EMF meter is very helpful. Let's find out what she found. And she finds an item. Okay, this is going to be her 4th item, so she won't be able to hold all the items. So she's going to have to drop one of them, and she ends up finding the flashlight. Once per turn, gain 1 additional free search action. All right, let's take a look at the items she has, and we'll find out which one we need to drop. Well, this is a tough decision. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to drop the thermal camera there, and we're going to keep the flashlight. It's going to help her with search actions. Now, what happens when we drop a item, what we do is we place the item off to the side, and we place an item token on top of it, and we place a corresponding item token in the space where it was dropped. Now, another investigator can come into that room, and they can use a pick up, give, exchange an item action to pick up that item. So we're going to place this off to the side, and that'll be available for whoever wants to go in there and take it. And I think for Kate's third action, we'll wait on the clue for right now. She's going to attempt to open that door. We're going to use an unlock action, and she has the key ring, which is going to give her an extra die, so that is great. We need 1 key result to open the door to the restroom. And she's got it. So we've opened that door, and she's able to move in there as a free action. She'll do that. All right. And now it's Mark Tanner's turn, and I think what he's going to do is he's going to do a run action. A run action is 3 consecutive move actions, and it gives you a bonus of 1 extra move action. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, and the run portion of that gives him an extra movement point 4, moving into room 15. And we'll finish the turn by advancing the clock to 3 o'clock. And I think what I'm going to do is, once again, I'm going to play a portion of the game off camera and get us more into the late part of the middle game. And then we'll reconvene and see how we've done. Well, as we have progressed forward in the game, these are the items that the investigators currently have. The investigators have managed to solve the first 4 prove actions. On that lingering effect of the child ghost, he picked up one timer, and we're in ghost mode now. We have discovered all the evidence we need, so we're able to conduct a seance. But now we are in ghost mode, so that means that on every time the clock moves, ghost is going to appear. We have 5 room cards left, and we have a lot of prove actions yet to do. The clock is going to advance, and now the ghost is going to appear every 15 minutes, but we're only going to draw an environment card on the midnight hour. And we'll find out where the ghost is going to appear now. He is going to show up in room 20. So we'll place him into room 20. He's going to show up in the bed ward. We'll mark a red marker there. And now the investigators will have 1 round to reach him and start doing some prove actions. Madame Brieux is going to use her rubber boots. That'll move her 1 space for free. She'll spend a second action to move into the room. And she's going to spend her third action with a prove action. And I think I'll have her attempt the double eyes prove action. Here's the roll. And she's got it. So we can mark that one down as solved, which is great. And that's going to end her turn. Kate Burkham is up next, and I think she's going to attempt to pull the ghost. So we're going to have her roll. We have 6 summon dice. We're looking for 1 success to be able to pull that ghost 2 rooms. And she's got it. So we're going to move the ghost into 13 and then into this hallway. All right. And now she's going to do a move action. She'll do 2 move actions, 1, 2. Now another thing that happens is when we're doing prove actions, and only prove actions, if there are more than 1 investigator in the same space as the ghost, the other investigator that's attempting a prove action in the same space as another investigator gains an extra clue die over and above what he would normally have. So now it is going to be Mark Tanner's turn. He's going to do 2 movements, 1, 2, moving into the space with the ghost, and he's going to do a prove action. He has a magnifying glass, so he's going to use up 1 of his actions with the magnifying glass. That'll give him an extra die. And he's also going to gain an extra die because Kate Burkham is in the same space, so he'll have 5 dice for this prove action. And I think he's going to attempt to take out one of these more difficult ones. And I think we'll try that double camera and 1 eye. That'll be the prove action he's going to attempt. 5 dice. Whoops. And he's got the 2 cameras and an eye, so we're able to solve that one. That's great. We'll mark that one as solved. And now the clock is going to move, and it's going to be the midnight hour. We'll advance the clock, and it's midnight. First thing we're going to do is draw an environment card and see what happens. And the card is Watching Eyes. All players lose 1 clue die on all search, solve, and prove actions on their next turn. Discard this card after everyone has taken their turn. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, we'll keep that card off to the side. And now the ghost is going to appear. Let's see where he's going to come out. And he will come in to room 8. All right. That means he's going to show up in the bathroom. And we'll mark that with a red cube. And now investigators will take their turn. Now we have only 3 room cards left, so the game is going to come to a conclusion very soon. We'll begin with Madame Brieux, and I think she has the music box, and that allows her to re-roll summon dice. So I think we'll have her attempt to pull the ghost, and that'll get it into a location closer to where our investigators are at. This should be pretty safe because we have the music box. So here is her pull attempt. And she failed. So she's going to use the music box, and we're going to re-roll that. And hopefully we can get a success, otherwise the ghost disappears. And she failed. Oh, that's unfortunate. So the ghost is going to be removed from the board. And Madame Brieux has one action left. And I think what she'll do is a move action. I'll have her move out into room 13. Incidentally, I should mention that once we go into ghost mode like we are, the heroes can no longer use the summoning command. The summoning command is where we can use the summoning dice, and that will automatically draw the ghost to a random room. Well, we can't use that anymore, but what we do have the ability to use is the seance. And I probably should have done that at the start of the turn instead of doing what I did. But we have 3 room cards left. Well, I think what we'll do is we're going to move our characters to try to cover the most likely spots that the ghost will appear in. And I think what we'll do is I'm going to move Kate Burkham 1 space into the bed ward, and that will cover kind of majority of the rooms in that area. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to move Mark Tanner 1 space. And he has 2 actions remaining. I guess we could attempt this search action, but the problem with that is we're underneath that watching eyes card. We'd have 1 less clue die than normal, and that has a timer on it. So I guess we'll just leave him there, and the clock will advance, and the ghost is going to come out in ghost mode, and he will enter into room 14. He's going to appear in the doctor's office, and we'll mark him accordingly. All right. And we'll begin a new round. Madame Brieux is up, and I think what she will do, she's going to do a move action, and then she's going to call for the seance. A room card is not drawn, and the ghost will automatically appear in that location. And then we're able to kind of use our prove actions there and try to solve as many of those as possible. Now, Madame Brieux has 1 action remaining, and I think we'll have her attempt something easy, and I think we'll have her try the camera and eye combination on the prove action. She's looking for a camera and an eye. And she's got it, so we will mark that accordingly, and we have a total of 7 prove actions completed. We still have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to go, and 4 of those are timed prove actions. All right. Kate Burkham is up next. She is going to do a move action, and then she's going to try to prove action on the ghost. Now she's going to gain an extra die for Madame Brieux, and she'll gain an extra die for her EMF meter that she has. So she'll be rolling a total of 5 dice. And I think she's going to try one of these timed events. We're going to look for an eye and a camera with 5 dice. And we don't have it. That means that the ghost is going to gain a second timer token. When it gets a third, it's going to advance 15 minutes, and that player is going to lose the rest of their turn. All right. Kate Burkham's turn is done. We'll move on now to Mark Tanner. Actually, I'm wrong. Kate Burkham still has 1 action remaining. So I think what she's going to do is use the 5 dice that she has, and we'll try something that without the timer. I think I'll try to get her the 3 eyes. I'll try for that. And this is her 3rd action. And she failed. All right, now it is going to be Mark Tanner's turn. Mark is going to use 1 action to move into the space with the ghost, and then he has 2 actions left that he can use for prove actions. Now Mark has his regular 3 clue dice, and he's going to gain an extra die for the prove action because of at least one additional investigator assisting him. So he'll be rolling a total of 4 dice. He has the thermal camera, which allows him to upgrade an eye to a camera or a camera to a cobweb once per round. So let's try to select something that would be attainable for him. I guess we'll try the 2 cameras. It's a timed event, but we got to get rid of those eventually anyway. So let's do that. We'll try the double camera. And he's got the double camera. That is excellent. So the ghost does not gain an extra timer token, which is good. And he has 1 action left. And I think he'll select the triple eye prove action. We'll see if we can get this. And he did it. He was successful, so we'll mark that accordingly. And now we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prove actions left to prove the existence of the child ghost. That is excellent. Clock is going to move to the 6 o'clock hour, and the ghost is going to appear. We're in ghost mode. We'll draw a room card. And he appears in room 1, and that's the padded room. Put him in there. Then fortunately that door is locked. We never unlock that one. All right, we have a total of only 1 room card left, so it doesn't look like we're going to be able to complete what we need to do, but we'll try. Madame Brieux is up right now. Now she has that music box which allows her to re-roll any amount of summoning dice, so I think we'll have her do a pull action and see if we can pull that ghost towards us. She has a total of 6 dice she can roll, 6 summoning dice. Here's her roll. And she was successful. Now we can only pull the ghost normally 2 spaces, but if it goes through a door, it can only be pulled 1. And I think she'll use her second action and do the same. She still has her music box available. She hasn't used it yet this round. Here's the roll. She was unsuccessful. She's going to have to use the music box and re-roll those summoning dice. This is one of my favorite mechanisms in the game, is pulling the ghost and using the summoning dice. It's very exciting. Okay, here's the roll with the music box. And she was successful, so we can move the ghost 2 spaces. All right. And now she has a third action available. Now we could attempt to pull the ghost into our location, and then all of the characters, the remaining 2 characters, Kate Burkham and Mark Tanner, would be able to kind of make a big effort on doing the prove actions. The problem is if we fail, the ghost will disappear from the board. There's only 1 room card left. I think we'll risk it. So Madame Brieux is going to make her last attempt at pulling the ghost. Now, she's already used the music box, so we don't have any re-rolls available. Here is the roll. And she was successful. So we're going to pull that ghost 2 spaces into the space that all the investigators are in. Now it is Kate Burkham's turn, and she's going to attempt to do some prove actions. Now Kate has the EMF meter, which is going to add a clue die to her total, giving her 4. And she's in a space with at least 1 other investigator, and that's going to give her the 5th clue die. And I think what we'll have to do is try to... Yeah, these timers are really going to be problematic. I wish I could have gotten rid of those earlier, but we didn't. And I think we have no better chance of getting rid of those than with Kate. She's getting 5 dice, so I think we'll attempt to get those. We'll start out with the timer and 2 eyes. This is her first action. It'll be a prove action. And she failed. So she has no ability to re-roll anything. So that means that the ghost is going to gain its 3rd timer, which immediately ends Kate Burkham's turn. What I should have done should have been to try one of these other prove actions that would not have ended her turn prematurely with a failure. I should have done that. Oh, well, all right, so that is going to end her turn. The clock is going to move 15 minutes, and these timers now are returned to the box. And unfortunately, since we had that third timer, the ghost disappears automatically, and he is going to reappear per the normal ghost mode procedure by drawing a room card. This is the last room card. He's going to appear in room 12. Fortunately, room 12 is right next door to where all of the heroes currently are. So, now this is the last card. So, if the heroes cannot solve all the remaining prove actions on the ghost card, we're going to lose the game. So we'll start our last player round, and we'll begin with Madame Brieux. She's going to use her rubber boots. That gives her a free move into the space, and then she's going to attempt a prove action. Madame Brieux only has 3 clue dice, so I think I'll have her attempt the 2 eyes and camera. That seems to be the easiest one that she'll be able to attempt to prove. Here's her second action. And that she has 1 camera, we'll keep that. And we'll re-roll this for her third action. She needs 2 eyes. And she failed, so that's going to end her turn. Kate Burkham is up next. She's going to spend 1 action to move into space 12. And she's going to attempt 2 prove actions. She's going to get a bonus die for Madame Brieux being in the space, and a bonus die for the EMF meter. She'll be rolling 5 dice. This will be her second action. This will be a prove action. I think we'll have her try the 3 eyes and 2 cameras. Here's the roll. Well, she has an eye and a camera, so I think we'll keep those out, and for her third action, we'll see if we can do it. And she's got it. She has 3 eyes and 2 cameras. Amazing. So she was able to solve that one. We'll mark it. But unfortunately, we only have 1 investigator left with 3 actions. He's going to spend an action moving into the space with the ghost. And we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 prove actions left to do to solve it. We'll just try to do the best we can. We're going to spend 1 action to have Mark Tanner move into the space. And then he's going to attempt, he'll use his magnifying glass. And he has a thermal camera. I guess we'll have him attempt this eye and 2 cameras. And we'll see if he can solve that at least. He'll be rolling a total of 4 dice. Okay, here's his second action. And he has an eye and 2 cameras, and he solved it. We'll mark that accordingly, and he has 1 action remaining. And I guess just for the sake of argument, we'll have him attempt the 2 eyes and 1 camera for his last action. Okay, here is the roll. He's going to use his last use of the magnifying glass. Here's the roll. And he rolled 3 cameras and a cobweb, so he's failed. All right, that is unfortunately going to end the game. And we've lost, but it was a good learning experience. And that's going to end the game. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. This game is a lot of fun. It's not only thematic, but the mechanics in the game are exciting. All of the decisions that you can make are exciting. There's really never any downtime during the game. You'll always never have enough actions to do what you want to do. And there's quite a bit of strategy, particularly in when you're making rolls with the clue dice, and you're able to keep back some dice with successes. It's, there's some strategy involved in whether you're going to re-roll all of the dice in an attempt to get a more difficult result, or do you keep a result and re-roll what's left in there. It's a lot of decision making in that. It's also a lot of fun with the summoning dice and pulling and summoning that ghost, there's a risk. You can attempt to pull him closer to you so you can get in position to do the prove actions, but it's at a risk of him disappearing. And then there's also the fact of how quickly do you want to go into ghost mode. If you're really not prepared for that and you accidentally uncover, say, the 7th clue, or you get your 4th, in this case, evidence token, and you go into ghost mode, well, that ghost is going to be coming out every 15 minutes and you go through that room deck quite fast. I think in the future what I'm going to attempt to do on the channel is to utilize the storybook, and that's where we're going to you play a consecutive grouping of games, and some of the actions will carry over into the next section of the game. They're called storybook perks, and you can gain extra starting items in future games as a part of the storybook. Like in this case, the first one is the Child Ghost. That's the one we just played. And we would decide on whether we want to play in the asylum or in the museum. And then it tells us these different threats that will come in. And then we would just go through the book after we complete, when the existence of the ghost is proven, move on to the next task, turn the page. So it's kind of a neat campaign system that they've offered that you can use in the game. And I think that's kind of a neat system. So thank you so much for joining me at the Solo Gamers Club. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. This game will definitely be coming back to the channel in the future. And I look forward to seeing all of you for our next video. Thanks so much for watching, and have a pleasant evening.